when one of these things comes to your backyard, you can resist. And what that happens over millions of people is that you generate enough friction that they cannot go as fast as they want to go. Make sure that you are slowing down this system.
AOC's office advising migrants on how to avoid deportations. That was a live webinar. Trump border czar Tom Homan now issuing a warning to AOC.
How is that not illegal? How can she get on a webinar, you know, kind of like a little instructional video for illegal immigrants to evade ICE? That can't be legal. That's why it's so hard to get caught up in this shit when they're crying and screaming about how illegal Trump is and how illegal Trump's folks are and what they're doing ain't right. There's no way, whether you agree with it or not, as a congresswoman, there's no way you can be helping the immigrants hide from the law enforcement and doing webinars on it and having your office help. That is not what taxpayer dollars are for.
I sent an email today to the Deputy Attorney General. At what level is that impediment? Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts? If so, what are we going to do about it? Is she crossing the line? So I'm working with the Department of Justice and finding out where is that line that they cross. So maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now. Sanctuary cities, they want to step aside. We're coming. We're going to do it for you. If you don't want to make your community safer, President Trump's going to.
Congressman Carlos Jimenez from House Homeland Security joins me now, and it's great to have you on this topic because you watched that video and think, shouldn't she be watching for the safety of her constituents? She's actually advising people who broke the law to come into this country to now break the law if and when they are approached or apprehended.
Yeah, I saw that, and I found it very, very troubling that a fellow congressperson would say that and then tell people that when there are ICE agents, agents of the law coming in to do their job, that somehow you need to resist and resist and resist. That's not what we do. We're lawmakers. We're not lawbreakers. And so one of the things that I'm looking at now is, look, we also get, security clearances and briefings, et cetera. I think now that we're going to have to take a look at her security level and her security clearance, because could she be using that information also to aid and abet illegal migrants?
Absolutely could be. I mean, is she working underground to keep them here? Or is she just doing her job as a congresswoman and she just was kind of going on one? But right there, it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem like anything that should be accepted in the United States as far as a lawmaker actually going to the degree of making a webinar to explaining, what to do, how to act, how to basically slow down the system. If you do have to be deported, I guess. That's so counterproductive. I don't see how that's helping us. Our tax dollars going to that kind of stuff. And they're fighting so hard against each other for something that they should be able to sit down and figure out behind closed doors, like we elected them to do. But they're fighting against each other or something. It's a foregone conclusion. We know what the answer is. If the Democrats are wrong on this one, they should admit it. Republicans, if you're wrong on this one, you should admit it. But the people are the ones feeling the brunt of this financially and in our living conditions. That has to be changed. We got to be taken care of, and the American people have to be the priority.
Mayor Eric Adams announcing today he is going to work with ICE. Let's watch this.
When I sat down with him, I saw the cop in him, and he really does want to do the right thing because he is a cop. He's a lifelong cop, and so he wants to help take public safety threats off the streets in New York.
I think Eric Adams is doing the right thing by working with him, obviously, because it's the law, and he could go to prison for the shit. So yeah, he's doing the right thing. But the part that bothers me about this situation with Eric Adams is, like, now that he's working with the Trump administration and he had his charges dropped, it's kind of like he's obligated to be paraded around with show up on Fox shows that he used to not. He should just be able to do his job and comply and not have to be publicly displayed in that way, because it's only going to draw more issues from the left trying to get him. He has not changed his political party. He is still a Democrat. All Democrats don't feel that way. All Democrats don't want the sanctuary cities. All Democrats don't want our towns and children and churches and schools overrun by illegal immigrants. Once they become citizens of the United States, there's nothing we can do. That means they have satisfied the requirements. But until that point, no, we can't be doing this.
New York safer. He also wants to help find these missing children.
People want to hijack this narrative and turn it into a political narrative where we're saying we need to have public safety. This has been an issue I was talking about before the election, spring of 2022. You look at these quotes over and over again. We need to go after these dangerous people in our street.
And he ain't lying, because that's what got him in hot water. He started crying for help. And the crime rate was going up, and the crime rate among the illegal immigrants was going up. And when he hit up the White House publicly in press conferences and just saying pretty much what he just said there, yeah, they indicted his ass. So you got to be careful, opening. That's why I can't believe AOC can just do an infomercial on how to break the law and then turn around and say that Trump's team is breaking the law. You got to really pay attention, because it's just a bunch of propaganda on both sides, and we don't need that. We need clarity.
And now I have someone that understands that narrative, and we are fighting together to get it done.
This is important, too. California Governor Gavin Newsom is now vowing to veto a bill that would block California corrections from cooperating with ICE and Trump migrant policies. So now you've got an 80.
And there's another one. Now that's a governor, and he's trying to block ICE from going into the prisons. And if someone is in prison, ICE needs to be talking to him. This is not a person who's in a jail, which I think the county jail should be opened up to ICE as well, but in a penitentiary. And he's protecting illegal immigrants who are housed in a penitentiary. Just to save the money alone, deport them back to Mexico and let them deal with it. I can't believe that we fight to keep an illegal immigrant here. Is it something that we're missing? Why is Gavin Newsom and AOC and the people like that of the world fighting so hard for the illegal immigrants? Is it a principled thing, or is it something that we just don't know? Because I'm missing it.
180 for these two on these issues. For me, it feels like Tom Homan and his crew have just been very forceful. He's almost forcing people to work with him because they realize if they don't, he's coming anyway.
Yeah, the mayor of a job, and the job of a mayor is to protect his or her citizens, and Mayor Adams needs to cooperate with ICE. They're looking for the most dangerous elements here and trying to take them out. That's just going to help New York City, and so I applaud him for helping Tom, do his job. Every city, every state should be doing the same thing.
Absolutely. Congressman, we really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much for being here.
That's what we're up against. Some congressmen think this is unlawful. They know what the law is. AOC knows what the law is. All the congressmen, men and women, especially on the issues that they're involved in, they know what the law is. And when you see them doing this kind of stuff, they're just disrespecting the constituents and the people and the citizens of this country by saying basically, no matter what you think, we're going to have illegal immigration because it's the right thing to do. And in her mind, it might be. But it sure does pull away from the resources that other people who are citizens of this country have done without long enough and who can use. We should not be a country that relies on the welfare system so heavily. We should rely on the educational system. We should rely, and they're mad about Trump and his issue with the Department of Education. I'm mad about the Department of Education. I always have been. That's a department that needs to be addressed. All this shit needs to be looked at. Maybe we have been lulled to sleep. You know, you can do a job that's a very dangerous job. And you can do it so much until you become complacent. And then one day you come home and you're missing fingers or a hand or your life. You can't be complacent in any way. And this might not be as important to some people as it is to others. But complacency breeds this kind of stuff, where one party thinks they're right just because they think they're right, and the other one thinks they're right because of their idealism. And the bottom line is the majority who is elected in is the one who's going to have the most control over the way we go. And if you don't like it, you have to win elections. That's the only answer to it under this system. And if you guys think that Trump is changing the system, it looks like the things beneath him, but I haven't seen anything in the office of the president change. If it does, that's when we come into the constitutional crisis, and that's when he gets the Supreme Court involved, and that's when the Constitution could potentially be up to be changed. Or they could say he's within the right of his authority as president, and then every president who comes after him will have those same rights. So I don't see that as being a big old thing. I would be afraid to live in a country that has oppressed my people the way they have and it not be evolving. It seems like the Democrats are fighting to not have any change, to not do anything different than what we've been doing. Well, for some of us, that ain't the answer. Some of us want change. We want progress, and we want proof of it. And with that, folks, like, comment, please share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next Black Popcorn.